EU website. So the best email to reach me through is betty.ketsekas@maine.edu. That's also on the syllabus. I'm teaching in Portland this summer. I also have an office in Gorham, and I'll be going there. It's on the fourth floor of Bailey Hall, room 411, and that's a good place to catch me, most likely on Wednesdays and frequently on Monday and Friday mornings as well. So on the syllabus, you'll see there's a brief course description, and for most of you that are in the course, this is required. Some of you may be taking it as an elective, but it's an overview on chemical dependency and a way to look at it in terms of understanding its various stages, processes, and effects. The specific topics that we're going to look at are of the social and psychological dynamics of chemical dependency, how it might affect family members, peers, co-workers, and also the different roles that people play with this. I was someone who early in my career had not had a lot of training in chemical dependency, and then when I started working, I realized at that time, because there were not any courses that were required in a typical counseling program on chemical dependency, but I noticed very quickly that even though I wasn't specializing in chemical dependency, roughly half of all the clients I was seeing were either people struggling with some kind of addiction themselves or who had family members who were. So very quickly I learned that even if you're in a field and you're thinking, if you're in the counseling profession, and you're thinking you'll never run into any chemical dependency issues, I'll tell you now that's certainly not true, and that's true whether you have an interest in working with children, adults, adolescents, whether you're in a school setting, mental health setting, private practice, hospital. It's quite a pervasive condition, and it's pretty much everywhere. So I think you'll find, I tried to design the activities around this course, things that would be interesting and relevant to you, as well as the textbook that typically has been used, that Melissa uses in this course, and that I think covers the topics, the main topic areas really well. But the course itself, the activities are not going to be all totally related to the text. There's one that primarily is, as will some of the conversations we have together, either through emails or these YouTube posts or announcements or whatever. The text is one part of it, but I see it more as an outline for the general topic areas that relate to chemical dependency. So I won't repeat everything that's on the first page of your syllabus. It's a course description, and I'm sure most, if not all of you, have seen the relationship to the core values statement. These are the areas that we, for our accreditation, have to specify that relate to values of our School of Education and Human Development and how they might connect to the counseling profession. Then the objectives are pretty clear, and the objectives are tied right in with the major assignments, and I'll jump to that area, but first two quick things. One on the textbook, I'm sorry, there's just one, but there are other materials that you'll be reading, and then the course evaluation and the assignments. So the main textbook is listed, the Van Wormer and Davis, and hopefully that's in the bookstore, and there are enough copies, but if anyone has any problem, please feel free to reach me on that. There's also going to be two assignments that are related to some readings that you'll be getting on your own. One is a codependency assignment, which you'll see later. I'll talk about it a little bit, but this relates to the part of the course that deals with affected others. And I think this is, for me, a main area in chemical dependency work, because I primarily did chemical dependency work totally for about 8 years in my career, and before I became a full-time faculty member. And in that 8 years, I worked in several hospital settings, one primary hospital setting and others that I consulted in, and also private practice and employee assistance work. But as well as working with people who are primarily suffering from disease of addiction, I worked with a lot of family members, friends, co-workers, and so on. So the area of codependency, I think, it's very important, it's very relevant, and while it may not primarily appear in the diagnostic labels that we use in our profession, it certainly is a condition that people can use a lot of help with. So there'll be some recommended readings, and from that recommended list that's on your syllabus that you'll see under the assignment that deals with the codependency book reaction, you'll just be selecting one from that area, and there you notice there's books and there's workbooks. There's some things that deal with adults, some that deal with children. For example, Claudia Black's My Dad Loves Me, My Dad Has a Disease is an excellent workbook for those of you that want to work with young children. And there are other workbooks that Sharon Wegscheider Cruz has used, as well as Melody Beattie, who doesn't write primarily workbooks, but she's written some excellent books just on sensitizing others to the topic of codependency. And there's just a list that I'm very familiar with that's here, but there are, as you'll see if you look online, on Amazon, on any website, there are many excellent books in the whole area of codependency. So that will be one set of readings, and also on the AA book, AA website, AA.org, you'll see that there's some no cost to you readings that will also be part of the assignments for the course. So that's what that's referred to under required texts. In addition, there'll be a film viewing, but I think it's very easy to get those films through Netflix or online, or some of you may even have the films for that related assignment, which will be the media reaction or media analysis. So those are the required and recommended texts. The evaluation, you'll see, breaks down to the following: that the first assignment, which will be the text study guide, will be 20 points. The media analysis is 20 points. And the codependency book review is 15. The special topic summary is 15. The weekly module reactions just relate to, at the end of every week of our 7 weeks, just sending me a 1-paragraph reaction to what your learnings and reactions were to your work that week, anything related to the course. And there's a 12-step reaction paper that's 10 points. And then I'm not primarily using discussion board every single week, because things I've heard and noted from other people who've taken online classes is that when you have a lot of labor-intensive assignments, posting on discussion board every week, to me, it's going to be more relevant to get an individual reaction to you from what you're doing that week, because there is a fair amount of labor-intensive individual reflective work in the course this summer. So I think adding weekly discussion boards, I just felt was too much. So there'll just be 2 discussion posts, and these are not things that other people necessarily need to react to. If someone is moved to, you can, but all that you'll be responsible for as an individual in the class is posting somewhere in the middle time period of the course. I'll let you know when that is, like week 3, week 4, something like that. What you chose for your codependency book or workbook that you're reacting to, maybe just a paragraph about that, and then at the end, what your special topic is that you picked for that final reaction paper. So that's the breakdown of the evaluations, and I'm noticing that I'm up to 9 minutes, and it's been recommended these YouTube sections should not be longer than 10 minutes. So I'm going to stop this one and create another for the specific assignments for the course. Okay, thank you.